Hello everybody, this is Frank the Bank coming at you with a Sansha DED 6 to 10 video in my Tengu. I'm going to go over the fit real quick. In the rigs, I have a fuel cache, Tech 2, Hydro Bay thrusters Tech 2, and a Hydro Bay thrusters Tech 1. This gives me the maximum range out of rigs I can. I'm rocking heavy assault hams Tech 2, all with Mjolnir range missiles, so it's EM damage. Rocking a Metaphor Afterburner, Pith B-Type Medium Shield Booster, Pith X EM Ward, 2 missile guidance computers with range script and precision script, 1 Republic Fleet medium cap battery, and 4 ballistic control systems. The Tengu is a strategic cruiser, so it's got these subsystems: fuel catalyst, injection bay, augmented capacitor reservoir, amplification node, CPU efficiency. Here's with my fitting skills and current implants. The fit will also be linked below the video. Alright, so we're going to get started. I'm only going to try to talk at the beginning of each room. There are 4 rooms in the site. Only 2 of them I have to full clear, the first and third. The second room, I kill 1 true Sansha and move on. The 4th room is the final room. I kill the boss and move on. So for the first room, you land, and what I do is I target some battleships and 1 battlecruiser. I start the propulsion forward to get myself moving, and then I pick a battleship and start firing. I try to focus the battleships that are furthest away, and that's because the battleships and cruisers will all move away from your Tengu, and since your range is only, depending on your skills, low 40s, you want to make sure that you don't spend a lot of time chasing down ships. So after I get close enough, I'm going to click on this back right Sansha bunker, and I'm going to orbit at 1500. This is going to ensure I don't get hit by I don't run into anything, and I stay in range of the gate. Just highly efficient. It doesn't really matter what order you burn the mobs down in, or the rats. Just make sure you focus down battleships and then cruisers. And you want to make sure you pay attention to what's furthest away from you, and just slowly start knocking those down, just so nothing moves out of range. Alright? And so we'll do all of this. For maximum efficiency, you're going to want to know how many cycles it takes to kill every type of rat. So the battleships take anywhere from 18 to 22 cycles based on your skills and how well you apply damage. So 18 to 22 cycles for the battleships. It is 5 to 6 cycles for the cruisers. It is 3 cycles for the frigates. In the future rooms, you'll run into destroyers that die in 2 hits, and battle cruisers that die in 5 to 6. So I'm going to speed the video up while I clear this room. Alright, so now that we're cleaning it up, we're going to check the loot. The Sansha Corpse collector is actually an overseer and can drop loot, so we want to make sure to check that corpse. It's actually one of the early battleships we focused down, so it's still near the middle. Cut our AB because we don't need the speed tank anymore. Didn't drop anything. So there's 2 acceleration gates. There's 1 to a supply pit acceleration gate. We're going to ignore that. We're going to activate the gate to the product park. Alright. While we're in flight, we're going to reload. And so this room, all we're going to do is kill a true Sansha. We're going to check if it drops anything. We're going to move on. You don't actually have to kill the true Sansha. You can ignore it, but for me, there's no reason not to. So I'm actually turn on my AB. I'm not going to pilot directly at it. The reason is it has a lot of actual damage, and if we have zero transversal towards it, it'll actually do a fair amount of damage. So I just afterburn. I put myself at an angle so that I can turn to the acceleration gate if the corpse drops nothing, or if the wreck drops nothing, or I can turn and grab the wreck if I need to. So I just come in at an angle. When it gets under my range, start firing, it'll drop in like 20 cycles. So you'll see me, I'll speed this up, you'll see me check the wreck or not, and I'll jump to the next gate. Alright, so going to the next room, I cut my EB when I get really close to the acceleration gate so that I can align faster. I'll also reload again. So going into the third room, this is where you're going to spend the majority of your time in the run. You have to full clear the room. There's a bunch of stuff in it. So when we land, we're going to have a destroyer, battle cruiser, and battleship right on top of us. We're able to tank those just fine while not moving. I'm going to lock them up. Gonna focus down the battle cruiser, then the DED, and then the battleship. I'm gonna turn on my afterburner just so I don't forget later. Alright, so DED gets two-shotted. Oops, started the wrong thing. DED gets two-shotted. Alright, so we're also gonna lock up the overseer. He paths, so he'll be somewhere in this region, in this path. I'm going to lock him up just so I have an idea where he is. I'm going to show brackets. I'm going to lock up, turn the camera down, and lock up all 3 battleships that are down here. Right? So we follow a particular pattern when we move through this room so that we can end up near the gate when we finish. I'm going to start moving when this guy reaches low health, and then reload as soon as he dies. The reason is none of these are in range, so I want to be at full ammo when they do get in range. So the reason we take this particular path through the room is, like I said earlier, everything, all the battleships tend to move away from you. Alright? So they're constantly running away, and I want them to end up near the acceleration gate, so when the last thing dies, I can just take the gate. So what tends to happen here is I drop one battleship, and then I take out the overseer. Overseer takes about 30 cycles. He has a pretty gnarly rep, so it takes about 30 cycles. So I'll kill one battleship, I'll kill the overseer, I'll use a leftover ammo on one more battleship, and then I'll reload and start working on the same battleship again. I only target battleships to start with because the battle cruisers and destroyers will follow me through the room, and when I get towards the end of the room, I can just orbit the acceleration gate and slowly just pick them off as they come towards me. It makes sure that I'm not chasing anything throughout the entire room. So the order in which we are going to orbit. The first thing to orbit is this abandoned drill. Next, after the third battleship, so this will be the second, this will be the third. When this third battleship is almost dead, I'll orbit this low tech energy harvester, and when I do that, I will target these 2 battleships. Right? So here I want to pick off that guy for this battleship first, because I'm moving over this way next, and all three of these will be in range. Alright. After this, I'm moving up here. There are 3 more battleships up here, which I'll show you in a few minutes. And then, yeah, I'll fast forward to that point, and I'll see you then. Okay, so something actually happened here. I don't know how it happened, but I actually didn't orbit. I guess I messed up. So I'm going to head back towards the drill. Alright. As I said in my rattle video, you're going to see a lot of things go wrong. I am not a great player by any means. So when you see my mistakes, it should just give you hope on that you can do this even better. Alright. So I'm applying damage again. He'll die. Orbit this. Again, I want to target the thing that's furthest away. So I'm glad I got to show you guys that. That particular mistake might screw up the rest of the room, but so I'll pretty much be showing you worst case scenario. Another thing I'm going to do for my convenience is I'm going to lock up the Overseer's wreck so that it appears on here. All right. So Overseer wreck can drop TS loot, so I definitely don't want to miss that. It's rare, but I've seen it drop true Sansha warp scrams, which are 100 mil, web of fighters, same thing. And I've seen it drop nothing. So, but it's worth checking, especially because it doesn't affect your clear time at all. So now that I have 3 open target spots, I'm going to target those 3 battleships that I told you about earlier. And what's going to happen is after this Savage Lord goes down, I'm going to approach that battleship wreck and check the loot, and then I'm going to orbit this asteroid structure. But I'm going to do this in fast forward. Alright? Alright, so now that I'm orbiting the asteroid structure, I'm killing one of the battleships that's far away. I looted the wreck, so I'll clear that target off, lock up the last 2 battleships. Alright. I actually got a true Sansha explosive hardener, so that's a cool 10-11 mil. So here's the RNG part. Usually the things end up over here, the last 2 battleships. So I'll orbit this harvester for the last turn. Sometimes you can get lucky and these will end up over here by the acceleration gate, and you can just orbit the acceleration gate, which is preferred. But it doesn't happen the most common rate. So I'm going to orbit this, destroy these last 2 battleships, and now I will orbit the acceleration gate and just slowly take out the battleships or battle cruisers and desis, because they will all be moving towards me. Like you see, if you can see the arrows here, they're all moving towards me. Alright, and then so I'll fast forward and I'll come back on the final room. Alright. Alright, so I'm on the last ship. I'm going to cut the AB so I align faster. Activate the gate. Going into the last room. Alright, reload my missiles. So this room, we're just going to take out the overseer, loot the wreck, and bounce. Alright. The overseer, just like room 2, can load a lot of damage if you head straight at him. So we're going to go off to the side. Alright. Turn AB on. So I try to look at what directions he's heading and go perpendicular to there. So I don't want to go the same direction because then I'll have 0 transversal on him. So the general idea here is as I get closer, I'm going to manually pilot and shorten my my distance. And when I get within 10 clicks, I will orbit him at 1500. Alright? When I orbit him, and I shouldn't be taking much damage, when he gets very low structure, I'll actually start approaching him. It'll only last 2 or 3 cycles of missiles. But I'll do that so that when he dies, the wreck is within range for me to loot it, because I really just want to kill him and loot the wreck and get out as fast as possible. Alright, so I'm within 10, but I'm not squared up with him yet, so I'm just waiting a little bit. Alright, now orbit. Now it should be a relatively smooth transition to my orbit. And this takes about 50-55 cycles to kill. You can see he has a pretty good size armor rep, but he'll go down in about 4 more cycles. Alright, so he's getting structure. I'm going to hit approach. You can see I'm all healed up. That pop-up means he's dead. Loot the wreck. Warp out. Make sure you cut your AB, because the longer you sit in here, the more chance you have of dying. That's it. You've cleared the entire site, and good job. If you have any questions, just hit me up in game. My name is Frank the Bank, pay to win. You can join the channel, The Romantics, The Space Romantics, and talk to Rushlock or anyone from his community. Hit us up on Discord or on Twitch's or on Rushlock's channel on Twitch. Thanks, and see you guys later.